carrying oxygen. Al, if you can believe this, the entire body system every 6 seconds.
The 25th mile for Meb Keflezighi was sub-5 at 4:59. I think he's got a bigger lead now. But what a charge by Wilson Chebet. Oh, you know, he's right there. But you're right, Larry. It depends on which camera you use.
Lead right now is about 8 seconds. I just counted it from the mark in the road that Meb went, and Chebet is still charging. Meb sneaking the peak. Okay, he knows what the deal is here.
Down to 6 seconds. When I said 2 miles to go, that seems like an hour ago. That's because I'm thinking in Meb Keflezighi time.
It is 6 seconds the lead now. You can count yourself at home if you wish. Watch a mark in the road and then count how many seconds it takes for Chebet to get to the point where Meb is just past.
So Keflezighi's going to go underneath Massachusetts Avenue, still hanging on to a shrinking lead.
You know, late in the race, I was thinking earlier that this guy was going to get Meb. I'm not totally sure at this point, and the reason in part is you push so hard if you're Chebet, and you get to a point, both guys, you just can't go any harder out. There's kind of not much left in the tank.
Now Chebet looks over his shoulder.
Can the crowd in any way down the home stretch lift Meb over the last 600 meters of Boylston Street right to the finish line?
He has to hope so. He's heard what the finish line sounds like in New York when they were cheering for him. Not in Boston. Not until now. So close. Packed in like never before. Meb Keflezighi to become the first American Boston champion since 1983. It's back up to 8 seconds. He does feel the surge. He crosses himself for a prosperous finish. This is it now. Boylston Street is all Meb's. And now he's joined, but Chebet doesn't look like he has much left.
Meb has picked up the pace. I can see the leg turnover. It's changed dramatically here since he turned there. He saved something, I think, for this move. And he's got a tremendous shot to win this race right now.
Still looking, still checking.
On the right of the screen, Meb feels he's got it. He's telling you when he does that, I got something left. Franklin Chepwani in third place in the blue.
Oh, these last strides, they must be killers.
He's happy. He's saved something for this, Al.
Look at how close this is going to be. 1, 2, 3. One last look.
An American will win the Boston Marathon.
Yes, he will. And his his name is Meb Keflezighi, who knows a good photo opportunity when he sees it coming. There's the line. He's across. Chebet second. Chepkwony, another Kenya third. That took all he's made of, Larry.
What at a personal best, 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 36 seconds by almost a minute, about 50 seconds of personal best, and he will turn 39 on May 5th, Al. What an accomplishment. What a gamer he is in major events. New York City, ING New York City Marathon he wins in 2009.
Think of the exposure that this sport and this event is going to get around the world because of what has happened. And for him to be able to put America in the center of the story.
In 1983, the last American
It's all tears. All emotion. The 1983 champion, the last American to win the Boston Marathon in '83 before they gave prize money, came over and gave him a hug, and Meb saw him and started crying. A young man who arrived in America in 1987 and could not speak the English language. Dad brought all 10 children to this country and said, this is your opportunity. This is the chance for you to get the education. He pushed it with all of them. They've all gone to college. They are lawyers. They are doctors. They have a doctorate in the family as well. 1 or 2 of them still in school. An amazing success story in this country through hard work. Meb, a fabulous example at 38 of what you can do. A man who's got an Olympic medal and a victory in the New York City Marathon and the Boston Marathon as well. What an accomplishment.
Yeah, let's get a flag.
Jack Fleming, who's done such a great job trying to help organize all of this. Tom Grilk, the BAA hasn't rested for an entire year to try and make this the week that it has become here in Boston. Hats off to all of them.
Now it's a crowd.
Congratulations, we love you. Congratulations.
That's the bar. That's the bar. Jackie Garreau, champion.
He knows me. We have the same belt. I'm one of friends.
Jacqueline Hansen, a past champion, giving him a hug. Jeff Smith, past winner of the Boston Marathon in the early 80s. His wife, Jordanis, was the first to greet him when he finished, and she has been here with him all this time.
So, Meb Keflezighi makes a little marathon history on a gorgeous Patriots Day in Boston.
Ladies and gentlemen, your three-time Boston Marathon Women's Champion, Rita Jeptu.
Here in Boston, the final results for the women. Rita Jeptu wins a third Boston Marathon in 2:18:57. Shalane Flanagan runs an American record time of 2:22:02 here in Boston. And we go to Scott Wally with Rita Jeptu.
All right, Al, thank you very much. A new course record for our now three-time champion, Rita Jeptu. Rita, congratulations. You said that it would be an honor to run in Boston this year, especially after what happened last year. Tell me what's in your heart right now.
Okay, I want to say thank you again to be here in Boston. For me, I came here to run in Boston again and to come to support Boston, to support what happened last year. So I was happy because I came here and I'm supporting and I'm the winner again. So I'm happy.
So many exquisitely talented runners in the women's field. When did you know that you had this race won? At the finish line?
Okay, during my training, I was okay. During Kenya, I was doing my training well, and I was there is my colleagues in Kenya running in like London, and my cousin running on Milan Marathon, and she won. And my friend Priska Chepto, he got problem in London, but I was hope Priska she can won last week, the other week, but she have a problem. But okay, for me I'm happy because I want, and I know next time Priska Chepto won another race. So we are happy, and I saw all my team, yeah, everybody happy because I won today.
You did win today, and a new course record, by the way. Congratulations, Rita.
Thank you so much.
Rita Jeptu, Al, back to you.
She looked so strong and powerful crossing the finish line, faster than any other woman before her. Rita Jeptu, now one of the queens of the Boston Marathon. The wreath. It's Governor Patrick of the state of Massachusetts. And the Kenyan hits just keep on coming. She just ran with everybody. She let everybody do what they wanted to do, and then when it was winning time, she separated. So there you go. That is one speedy leaderboard. Rita Jeptu, Buzunish Deba, Mara Dibaba. 1, 2, 3 in Boston. And then there's the Meb Keflezighi story. As American as it gets. We'll hear the national anthem coming up.
What a historic 2014 Boston Marathon, as we welcome you live once again on Universal Sports to the post-race show presented by SlowMag. This is the scene on Boylston Avenue where throughout the course of the afternoon, 36,000 runners, well, maybe 95% of them will finish as the weather gets warmer and warmer, but the 30-year drought is over. 38-year-old Meb Keflezighi is your Boston Marathon champion. And this is what it sounded like over the last 500 meters. What are you first for?
And here's Lucy Tibet, crossing 35 seconds. President Jeff Potter, finishing third.
What an incredibly emotional Boston Marathon in the year that was, of course, the most emotional of all after the tragedy of last year. We thought it might be Shalane Flanagan on the women's side. We almost dismissed that American man could win this marathon, especially this year against an incredibly elite field. But Meg Keflezighi has done it. Back with Josh Cox, Julie Benson, and Frank Shorter. You were a trailblazer in your own right many years ago. This one has to be one of the greatest of all, given the context.
Absolutely. All you can say is, wow. Meb came to run. Nobody else seemed to come to run. If you look at his splits, Josh, they were 104.19, 104.18. And he won it from the front. He had his strategy. He took the lead just after the halfway. We all talked about how, has he gone too soon? Julie and I said, no, he had no choice, because these guys behind are faster. They were going to come back on him. The mental arithmetic worked in his favor. He got that lead. They couldn't come back. I don't think anyone, if you asked him, is this the best race you've ever run? Despite the fact that it's here, he'd say, best race I ever won.
Let's pause for a moment for the national anthem honoring Meb Keflezighi and his victory. That's a song that hasn't been heard at this finish line.
You know, we talk about
For a long time. Thank you.
We talk about moving forward. The whole thing was run as one. Meb has put an exclamation point on the celebration of this year. Tremendous job by Meb. What a day for Boston to celebrate.
Josh, one of your closest friends, you train with him all the time.
I've known Meb since 1990, pride of San Diego High. And I got to tell you, this guy is an amazing athlete. You guys know that. But I tell you, he is a better man. Fantastic, fantastic guy. Could not be happier or more thrilled for him.
Meb Keflezighi, what an incredible story here in Boston. Mentioned that it's been a long and difficult emotional year. It feels more than, I know it's a little bit more than 365 days, but it's felt an awful lot more than that. But I'll tell you, it just got sped up a little bit. What an incredible show of courage by Meb Keflezighi over that last mile and a half when he had to be hurting incredibly and the lead kept shrinking and shrinking. It was 15, it was 10, it was 8. But once Meb got on Boylston Street, it was all his.
choose a former Masters champion here. Here's Jason Hartman from Boulder, Colorado. Ian Merritt from Boston, Massachusetts. Jonathan Baker from Cambridge, Massachusetts. And just for a little further perspective, the conductor of this magnificent orchestra today, our race director, Dave McGilvery. Dave, how do you look out there?
Well, at the beginning of the race, I said it doesn't get any better than this. Knowing that everything was set up so well by the team, the PAA organization, and everybody involved, public safety, law enforcement, now to capitalize with such an amazing victory by Med Keflezighi. It doesn't get any better than this down here either.
The support from everybody, starting with the governor, starting with the mayor, and everybody along the way, and the 3 million people who own this race is making it what it is. And there is a real long way to go. So get ready, folks. You got about 35,400 more people to cheer for. It'll be fun.
Well, Boylston Street still with chills as for the first time since Greg Meyer in 1983, an American man will hoist the Boston Marathon Trophy. And certainly a very, very emotional time for the millions of people here in Boston. For those of us that were here last year, so touched by that situation. Our post-race coverage once again presented by Slomac. Back with Josh, Julie, and Frank. Paul Sunderland, thanks for staying with us. And the emotions are dying a little bit because Meb was fighting so hard to hold off and cross the finish line first. But now let's talk about the race. It was very interesting and did not go according to plan.
You know, Paul, what really shocked me about it was when Meb and JB, Joe Fat Boy, made the break and they got the pack totally let them go. And it wasn't like they were running course record pace. They were running 2:08 pace. It was Meb is a guy who sticks to his plan. And when he went and JB went, it was like, let's work together and let's gap the field. And they were able to do it. The guys just waited way too long.
You're speaking of Josephat Boyd, and now let's take you back to how the day began for the new Boston Marathon champion. Along with all the other elite racers, this was Meb. Everybody's going to know that name now, like Frank, like Bill, like so many others. Meb Keflezighi signing in at the Fairmont Hotel. And then the elite men went off. The women went out 28 minutes earlier, along with the first wave of runners. And it was Meb Keflezighi at the front from the very beginning.
Absolutely. And when he decided to make his break, he just ran along at the front. At this point, he's just feeling out how he feels. And this was it. He made the break, he took off, and when you turn around and you look and you don't see anyone else there, you say, okay, that's it, race has started. He was committed. That's when he decided that was going to be his strategy.
You know what's so interesting about this is, as analysts, when we get the copy of the elite field, they give it to us in order of fastest personal best. Meb's not on the first page, he's not on the second page, he's not on the third page. His personal best was not even on the charts in terms of calling this race, predicting this race, but yet we always said, don't count him out. He is a championship racer.
And maybe those athletes who didn't go with him, all those Kenyans and Ethiopians, were reading his best time. And they say, oh yeah, he won New York, but man, nobody was there. You know, and they just let him go, didn't they, Josh?
Meb is a guy you can never count out in a championship style race. He doesn't have the personal best of some of these other guys. It was a 2:09 coming in today. He obliterated that. But his silver medal in Athens, that was worth a 2:05 or 2:06. And going into that race, he was 40 guys down the list. But it doesn't matter when you're talking about Meb. From the time he won the 1,600 meters and the 3,200 meters at the California State Championships, anytime a title's on the line, never, ever, ever count Meb out.
the Olympic trials, the Olympic Games in 2004, championship racing, and we have a new champion. Med Keflezighi certainly enjoying this. Wilson Chebet finishes in second, and then on down the list. What an incredible performance. 2:08:37, and it was, I'm being told, a personal best. And Josh, let me ask you once again, how shocked is Meb?
You know, Meb is a guy who has a ton of self-belief, and he's had an amazing career, a sparkling career. I mean, I've said it again and again. The guy constantly pushes back the setting sun. He says, no, I'm not done yet. You can never count him out. I don't know if he's shocked. I think he's very thankful and feels very blessed right now. But Meb is a guy who he's a tactician. He knows how to win these championship-style races. He made a move when he needed to make a move. He knew he couldn't wait and sit in a pack with a bunch of 203 and 204 and 205 guys. He made a move and he gapped everybody.
It wasn't too early. It was right on time. Everybody knows that he was in a dreadful state of pain over that last mile and a half. What did it take for him to hold off the pursuers, and what did it mean to turn on Boyle Street on this day this year?
You know, it's interesting, in interviewing a lot of the American athletes, I don't feel any sense of, the patriotism that Meb exudes. He loves this country. And just like Shalane, he was devastated by the events of last year, as we all were, but he came and he wanted to run for himself. He wanted to run for the healing of this country.
And competitively, when he made that move and they didn't go with him, I can imagine what was going through his mind. It was, maybe there's making a mistake here. And that gives you a tremendous amount of confidence when they don't come back on you, because in a way, he was underestimated. The rest of the field underestimated him, and that's what he takes advantage of. He takes advantage of the fact that everybody's faster maybe, and they're not looking at him really.
And what level of hope has this given to American road racers? I mean, unbelievable, what an accomplishment. We talked about the drought going in, and we've been talking, it became a drought after about 5 or 6 years, and it extended to 30 since Greg Meyer won it back in 1983. Well, that conversation is over after this incredible performance by Meb Keflezighi. He broke the mold. We talk about that a little bit with some of the other runners, but boy, Meb Keflezighi at 38 years of age, a new personal best, and said, I'm just going to go and I'm going to run my own race, and then I'm going to cling to this victory and hold on to it for dear life.
And if we're trying to predict, is he going to come back and defend his title? Okay, he's 38. I'm still thinking he's probably going to come back.
Well, he's won New York, and now he's won Boston.
Right.
I mean, this resume is starting to challenge yours, Frank.
Well, no, I think he's right up there.
It's interesting because this fall in New York, he really, really struggled. Almost barely finished the race. Terrible. Had some injuries, was dealing with that. But then when he came and he was one of the entrants for the U.S. Half Marathon Championships, you kind of thought, after what I saw in New York, I don't know if he's got much left. But boy, he won that just like he won today. And I thought, wow, he's serious about winning Boston. And he certainly was.
Josh, as we saw the lead disappearing, it was significant, and then it was anything but significant. What did it take for Meb to pull this off under that kind of pressure?
Well, Meb has a heart of a lion, and we've said it before, but this stretch on Boylston, it has less to do with skill. It's all about will, and Meb has heart. He always has heart. He built that lead, 4:38 at mile 16. Mile 18 was a 4:48. 19 was a 4:47. Meb made all of that up. He gapped everyone. It was just too great. But there was a moment there where we were looking, going,
we were all shaking our heads.
Is he going to do it? We don't know. But then he got to Boylston. He made that right on Hereford, made the left on Boylston, and at that point, you could see it in his eyes. He would not be denied today.
Once Meb Keflezighi got to Boylston Street, and it exploded with a chance for an American to win. It was an amazing sight and full of sound. When we come back, more on Meb Keflezighi, of course, and we'll talk about the women's race. Rita Jeptu wins it for the second year in a row and the third time overall. You're watching the post-race special coming your way on Universal Sports, brought to you by SlowMag.
Massachusetts. Jason Carpel, Daly City, California. Alex White of Somerville, Massachusetts. Ryan McNamara, Kingston, Massachusetts. Marty McCormick, Chris Carey of Bolton, Virginia. Joshua Samuels, he is about 10 minutes out. Cameron Handler, Colorado. Thomas D. Easton, Massachusetts. Daniel Pritzker of Brandon, Massachusetts. Dan Wade, Canada. Samuel Jurek, Boston, Massachusetts. Tom Hollow, Connecticut. Spencer McElway, Maine. Jason LaFay, Michigan. Anthony Walsh, Boston, Massachusetts. Eric Mendoza, Dorchester, Massachusetts. Michael Butler, Michigan. Jason Ratley, Rhode Island. Sebastian Roulier, Quebec. Dylan Spencer, Kansas. Brad Ringo. Connor Warren, Oklahoma.
Back at our post-race special, once again brought to you by Flomax. Meb Keflezighi is the winner of the Boston Marathon, and he's standing by with our Craig Hummer.
All right, well, Meb, it's been over 30 years since an American has won the Golden Laurels on their head. Describe the left turn, Boylston, and this crowd.
You know, Boylston was known last year for the tragic, but, you know, coming as an America, to be able to turn that left turn and to get the crowd going, I made sure I looked up. But, you know, this is beyond running. This is for the people, for the Boston Strong. And we're resilient as the runners. We want to give it back. We want to change what happened last year. And last year was known to be the bomb explosion Boylston. But this year, an American winning it and giving the USSA cheer just beyond words.
You all have said that you wanted to bring the smiles back to Boston. Talk more about that motivation and really how you felt that out on the course today.
You know, I was a spectator last year, and the victim that died was spectators just like me. And then I said, I want to come back. And, you know, I left 5 minutes before the explosion to the Copley Center, and I heard something. And I said, you know what? Somebody asked me from ESPN, you're going to come back? I said, of course I'm going to come back and win this thing. I'm going to try, because that's what Boston deserves. And, you know, my action delivered it today.
You have won your fair share of races over the years. You have an Olympic medal to show for it. You have won New York as well. You were on the preview show a couple days ago talking about what this would mean and how you have dreamed of this. Does the reality equal that dream?
Oh, beyond that, Greg. It's just, you know, I visualize the race every day since it happened. I want to be able to do it just like what the Red Sox did for put the trophy there, and it says, wow, how special that is. And I want to say, you know what, I want to do it for the runners. And then it's just beyond words to be able to do that. And I am blessed for God to give me the opportunity to do it and try to touch people's life. And then, you know what? We did it. It's not just about me, but for the United States. And, you know, like Bill Rogers to do it, like Greg Myers to do it, Alberta did it, and to be along that elite names is just huge.
Go back to the course, coming off a Heartbreak Hill. It seemed as though you were feeding off the crowd. The fist pumps were there. Did you feel like it was your day even there?
I definitely felt the crowd, and then they pushed me in the last 4 or 5 miles, and I'm like, you know, I might have gone a little too early, but I say, you know what, Boston Strong, I want to give it everything that I have, Meb Strong, and be able to finish it. And if I got beat at the end, you know what, I'm trying to inspire people to give their best, and I always run to win, giving my best, and then, you know what, I came across first.
You're the elder statesman, it seems, at times in these races. You know you've had to change your training over the years. It may be too early to ask, but champion's great. Defending champion might sound even better if you come back next year.
You know, this solidified my career. 99.9% was fulfilled. You know what? That 0.1% was missing, but in a big, more than 100% this time. And I feel blessed to have this opportunity to win the Boston title, not just for me, but for the people.
Well, congratulations again on a historic win.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. And now joining us on set, the voices of the Boston Marathon, Al Trautwig, Larry Rawson. Larry, your 40th, and 30 of those years you've spent without hearing the national anthem when a man crossed the finish line first representing the United States. Your thoughts on that, given the context of this year's marathon and Meb Keflezighi's performance?
You know, it has been a huge time, and